Hey everybody, welcome back. Spooky Movie Month continues. We have 3 more movies today. And we're getting to the finish line. It's the 24th today. Friday the 24th. And if my math checks out, that means a week from today would be the 31st. So we have 1 week until Halloween. I certainly have more movies to watch than a week's worth, unless I start watching more than 1 movie a day, which seems unlikely. It's hard enough to get 1 in a day at times. So some of them will have to wait until next year. More than likely movies I have seen before. So sometimes I watch a movie and I've seen it before. I've seen Upgrade, I've seen The Mortuary, but I hadn't actually watched the physical disc. I streamed it, so I consider it a new watch. So the remaining movies I may have seen them, but I haven't actually watched them on 4K, or haven't seen them at all. I know it's a blind buy. I read something about it that sounded interesting. Similar to The Incredible Melting Man, this was a blind buy for me. So we'll start with The Mortuary here. Put these over here for now. And this was an import. This was a German import. I think the first time I watched it, I think this is a Shudder original, maybe. I could be making that up. But I definitely watched it on Shudder, I believe. And it would have been a while ago. I don't know if I can actually find the date here anywhere. 2020. Well, I guess not that long ago, so 5 years ago. And this is a horror anthology, similar to Creepshow 2, which we talked about in the last video. And I tend to like those types of horror collections. Though I haven't seen any of the VHS movies. Those were recommended to me, but I think there's at least 3 of them now, right? Something like that. And I heard good things about this one, and I would agree with the good things. I was pleasantly surprised by this. It started off a little shaky with the first story, but the characters themselves seem aware of it. So it almost has a crypt keeper of sorts. That would be Clancy Brown. He plays the funeral parlor owner, mortician person, and this young lady here is looking for work. There's a help wanted sign, and he starts telling these tales of elaborate deaths for victims that have come through his funeral home. And what was surprising about this one, they're interconnected in the sense the same characters will find themselves in the other stories, which I wasn't expecting. I thought that was a nice touch. It also has this actor here, Elordi Jacob. I'm actually not too familiar with him. This was the first movie I'd seen him in. I don't know. He's on a TV show. It's really popular. I haven't seen it. I also saw him in Priscilla, which I thought was excellent. He plays Elvis in Priscilla. But now he's in Frankenstein. He's the new Frankenstein monster. I really want to see that. It's just not playing in my local theater. I think Netflix has it limited arrangements or something with the theaters it's playing in, which is a little annoying. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this movie. It's a lot of fun to watch, and I again was impressed by how the stories all started to intertwine as we got to the near the end of the movie. And I do like Clancy Brown quite a bit anyway, so it was nice to see him in this. So let's take a look at what we have next. We have The Incredible Melting Man, the first new horror creature. This is a Vinegar Syndrome release, and I might purchase this. I think it was a couple years ago now. They had one of those like blowout sales, or it wasn't a Black Friday sale, or maybe it was. I don't know. But if you pay attention to their website, you might be familiar. Sometimes they have sales for things like, at least 50% off. And this was one of those movies. I think I got it for $15, and I was okay. I'll give it a shot. And the appeal for me, anyways, so I have a slip with this fun, different artwork here, was reading about Rick Baker's makeup, special effects. So this is one of his earlier movies, and that in itself was like, okay, I'll see what's going on here with his incredible melting man effects. And I do like this version. This must be theatrical art, I'm guessing. I'm not too sure, but it's pretty cool. And watching the movie, I just watched this when I got to the credits, and Jonathan Demme's name shows up, and I'm like, the director, Jonathan Demme, he was in this? Not that I would recognize him, at least from the 70s with a mustache, but he is in this. And I didn't bother reading the entire back before I put the movie in. It actually says it here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, a rare performance from director Jonathan Demme. So that was unexpected. I wasn't really expecting that at all. But this movie, I mean, the effects are cool. Like, the Incredible Melting Man is the best part about the movie. He's just not in the movie very much. Like, the movie, well, let's see what this says here. Well, on the first ever voyage to the rings of Saturn, an unexplained phenomenon takes hold of astronaut Steve West and his crew, burning all but Steve to a crisp, somehow able to return to Earth, and that is a big somehow. Steve awakens in a hospital bed only to discover that his body is disintegrating. Worse, he begins to develop an instinctual urge to kill, learning that this is the only way to maintain his strength. After escaping from the hospital, Steve begins to ravage the nearby countryside, brutally murdering all those who cross his path and leaving behind a series of mangled bodies covered in his dripping flesh. Yeah, that about sums it up. So I guess it kind of has like a Fantastic Four thing happening, cosmic rays and what have you, and he turns into a melting man, not the best superpower. But that's really the movie. Like, it's a melting man roaming the countryside, and it goes on for 86 minutes, and it does feel longer than that. He has people that are searching for them, and that's it. Maybe because I'm watching a lot of X-Files right now, but this kind of felt like an X-Files episode to me, with like Mulder and Scully like investigating this astronaut that went to space. I'm pretty sure there is an X-Files episode, and that's a pretty tried and true horror story. But it would be 45 minutes if it was an X-Files episode, 42 to 46, I guess. And it was really stretched thin, even at the 86-minute mark. You're just like, okay. And there's some really extended scenes where, like, I don't understand why we're still sitting on this scene here. And yeah, hard to recommend this one. You'll have to be really into like Rick Baker, his earlier work, and wanting to see his melting man effects. And granted, they were cool, but then I was reading afterwards that he did like all these various stages of the melting man, because that's one thing I was surprised about. He was like melting and then melted. I expected more a transition between the stages, and I guess he did the work, but it didn't end up in the movie, or I can't remember who played the melting man in this, but he wasn't feeling putting the makeup on or something, just from behind the scenes, and the producers came in and shot footage without the director's guidance or even presence. Like, they just like, oh, we're gonna add some scenes. It feels pretty disjointed in that sense. I mean, it's a fun movie in the sense, like, I'm gonna kind of do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 with this movie. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually was featured on there at some point. And for $15, sure, I don't mind having it on the shelf. It's kind of interesting in that sense, but I can't strongly recommend this movie. It does have some unintentionally hilarious scenes, though. Like, I can't remember the name of the doctor, but it's just like Dr. Ted something. Without the context, this probably won't seem very funny at all, but he's yelling at these cops, identifying himself, but it doesn't really make any sense. So, yeah. Happy I watched it, but can't say I recommend it strongly or anything. I really recommend it at all, for that matter. And finally, we have Upgrade. I can definitely highly recommend this. I remember when this came out, I want to say this came out the year that Venom came out. 2018. Did that come out? Did Venom come out in 2018? Was it really that long ago? And I only say that because this felt like, maybe because it stars not Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy plays Venom, but while watching this movie, I was like, oh wow, I'm kind of getting like a rated R, Venom movie here, and not just a rated R Venom movie, like a much better Venom movie. As much as I get a kick out of the first Venom movie, I'm not going to argue that it's a good movie or anything like that. I just find it enjoyable to watch. This really caught me off guard. I think it was the first movie. What's the director's name? Lee Wannell, something like that. I want to say he's involved with the Saw movies, perhaps. Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie, Sinister. I'm not too sure, but Jesus, right here. Upgrade is the thrilling and hyper-violent vision of the future from the producer of Megan and Get Out and the co-creator of Saw Insidious. Okay, so pretty close. Get one right. And he also went on to direct The Invisible Man, which happened to be the last movie I saw in the theater before COVID. I think it came out in January, and I caught that in the theater, and that was it. I feel I didn't go to the movies again. I don't even remember. Whenever, it probably would have been like a year later or something like that, right? I didn't go see Tenet in the theater. I can't remember the next movie I saw in the theater, but it was quite some time it went by. The longest stretch for me anyways, from like not going to the movies. Yeah, Invisible Man really blew me away too. I have that on the shelf somewhere. So what's really impressed about this, the budget seems modest, but it creates a world that seems believable and lived in. Like everything on the periphery seems well thought out, almost something like Looper in a sense, where when you look at how the cars are running on, like it almost looks like recycled fuel or something. I don't really know the details behind it, but it looks like people gave some thought to the surroundings, and especially how prevalent AI is now with like public discourse and what have you. And this came out in 2018, so not like that long ago. But it feels like one of those more movies that seems even more relevant now. But yeah, after his life is killed during a brutal mugging, and that also leaves him paralyzed, Gray Trace, not Tom Hardy, is approached by a billionaire inventor with an experimental cure that will upgrade his body. The cure, an artificial intelligence implant called j.a.s.m.r, gives Gray physical abilities beyond anything he's ever experienced and the capacity to relentlessly claim vengeance against those who murdered his wife and left him for dead. So, how long is this? Pacing is great in this movie. Yeah, 100 minutes, so it's not that long. I really enjoyed all the performances in this. I came around on this guy. I know I keep calling him not Tom Hardy. He does have a name. Logan Marshall Green. There's another, also not Tom Hardy actor. He was in that Shogun movie. But first movie I saw him in, this guy was Prometheus, and I remember walking out of Prometheus and I felt like I wanted to flip a table or something, but I actually have come around on Prometheus for what it is. But I didn't care for his performance in Prometheus, but I definitely enjoyed him in this. And I think he was the only actor I actually recognized in this movie now that I think about it. But yeah, this movie is fantastic. Highly recommend this movie. Yeah, out of the three, if you haven't seen all of them, as fun as Mortuary is, Upgrade was just a brilliant movie. Mortuary is a lot of fun to pop in, and Incredible Multi-Man is definitely like a for fans only type horror film. So, okay, thanks for watching.